All right. So here we go. It's time to roll out the Operation Barbecue Relief Awards for 2022. I'm Brian Pollock. I'm the puppet master over at Volunteer Services. Now, but with me today is Will Cleaver, our Chief People Officer, and together we're going to talk about our volunteers, the great job that they've done throughout 2022, and the awards we have to present to them, especially for the standouts.
Yeah, Brian, I can remember first off, I want to say thank you to everyone that's volunteered, whether it be in the last year or the last 12 years, which is kind of bizarre to think about. I remember a time we didn't have volunteer awards and we just showed up. But Brian and his team have done a great job of the last several years creating these volunteer award nomination process. And again, everybody going in and volunteering, other volunteers has been awesome to see. But with that, Brian, I guess let's get started.
Sure, and it's true. I mean, it's great to be part of such a caring and supportive team of volunteers who go out there and do things. And I'll tell you what, we getting to this point for awards was really no easy feat. We've grown every year in the number of nominations that we get. This year we've had hundreds of them that we had to go through all those 9 categories, a bunch of review processes, which I know you're familiar with, and a lot of discussions that went into it. But so here we are finally, right? Um,
Exactly. Without a doubt, it was definitely been a big undertaking. We've got some things that'll make things hopefully a little easier coming for 2023. But before we announce the awards, I wanted to again take a minute to celebrate all of the finalists. Our marketing team has done a great job in putting together information in regards to each award over the last week, and I think you've seen that on our social media channels. But again, it's one of those things that it truly is amazing. It's amazing to watch everybody that's involved, and we're so grateful for their service to the mission of Operation Barbecue Relief. So give them all a round of applause. Reach out, send them a comment on Facebook, on social media. I'm sure they would all love it. But with that, Brian, I'll let you get started.
All right. And I'll cop to it right now. I am going to cheat a little bit. I want to make sure I get all the names right and all the award descriptions right. So I do have a printed script for a couple items just so I can kind of keep that straight in my head. All right. So first up is the Heart Award. So the Heart Award is presented to an individual who has demonstrated an extraordinary level of giving spirit. And for anybody who's ever watched gymnastics, this is kind of like the all-around award, right? That they do in competition. It's deployments, events. It might be behind the scenes, but they're always out there somewhere doing things, and people notice that, right? And this is one of those awards of all of them that had so many nominations because there are so many people who come out and do that. It took a while to get down to 5, and the 5 who actually hit the top then, and as you said, we saw this on social media, but we had Jean Boldman, Kelsey Cross, or CC as everyone knows her, Don Edwards, Randy Hartman, and together Harry and Sharon Leonard.
Amazing group of people. Without further ado, the recipients for the 2022 Heart Award are Harry and Sharon Leonard. So you were worried you were going to mess up the names. I can't even pronounce the easy ones. These two individuals have been involved in many events. I've worked with them. I've seen what they've done firsthand through multiple deployments, as well as events. They've traveled thousands of miles for OBR. I believe they've even opened up their RV laundry use for us at different times. So again, they truly do endow what this Heart Award is all about.
Yep. Now, congratulations, Harry and Sharon. See, that's how you say their names.
Thank
Uh,
you.
and thank you for your incredible dedication to Operation Barbecue Relief. Next up, Motivational Award. And this one is presented, so I'm going to read that. So presented to an individual who's made a remarkable impact on morale at a deployment or event. And another award that's really tough to decide on a recipient, right? Because everybody is generally upbeat. Everybody tends to be positive. Everybody says great things to each other at these events and deployments. But then you always have some who are a little bit more so, right? They take notice, and it's a little bit more regular. And those are the people who made our finalists out of all the wonderful people and attitudes we have out there. But the ones who really make you want to take that next step and keep going and motivate you, right? So those folks were Alan Jones, Matt Lane, again, Harry and Sharon Leonard, Alan Nichols, and Lewis Pratt.
And the recipient of the 2022 Motivational Award is Alan Jones. Alan is out of Clearwater, Florida, retired firefighter. He brings energy to everything he does, whether delivering the first OBR meals to law enforcement officers the day after Hurricane Ian, or acting as a camp host to welcome in our volunteers and make sure they got off to a great start, or as a safety and sanitation lead. Alan's always willing to do whatever's asked. Congratulations, Alan.
Yep. Congrats, Alan. And I know he and I have had an opportunity to talk about a lot of what he does out there, and he always keeps that spirit up. And it's great to see with all the jobs he takes on. So congratulations, Alan. All right, moving along. The Road Warrior. All right, so the third award goes to an individual who doesn't let travel, distance, or time hinder their participation in our deployments and events. And it's not always about the number of miles. Sometimes it is, but it's all those different pieces that go together that really define what a road warrior is to us when we look for those people. And the ones who top out that list then for this year were Doc Tom Borowski, Don Edwards, Randy Hartman, Mike Moore, and Joe Meyerly.
And the recipient of the 2022 Road Warrior Award is Doc Borowski. Doc has been an incredibly dedicated volunteer, attending nearly every deployment and event that he can, and all at his own expense. Every time Operation Barbecue Relief turns around, Doc is there working tirelessly to support our mission. His commitment to our cause is truly inspiring, and we are grateful for his selfless contributions.
Yep. Thank you, Doc. Yep. It's great to see you out there all the time. When I can get out there, you're there. When I'm not there, you're there. So I think that speaks volumes. But no, thank you and congratulations. All right. Next up is the Cucumber Award. And the Cucumber, actually, this is one of my favorite awards. I like all the awards, right? It's what I do, volunteer services. But I like the Cucumber because it gives us an opportunity to showcase a new volunteer who's come in and somebody who just really embraced the role, whatever it was that they've gotten into, right? On a deployment, oftentimes it's their first time out. And they just really stood out. And we have lots of great people over the years who constantly are there. But to see a new individual come in and see what that future is going to look like, those are the folks you start recognizing, right? And that's really what the Cucumber is. So a person who's made a huge impression as a brand new volunteer with Operation Barbecue Relief, even if they've been around a while and just got active. So for this year, our top 5 were Ann Burke, Gene Boldman, G5, Gary Brownsberger, Joe Capolino, and Emmeline Thomas.
I love all the nicknames that we have in quotes these days and the different volunteers that we all know everybody by. It's very much an endearing piece, so it's wonderful to see. But with that, our 2022 Cucumber Award is Ann Burke. Ann has embraced every role since day one, no matter what was asked of her, whether it be the on-site volunteer coordinator, and she kept coming back for more. She also realized many of the nuances of all of our roles, but proactively worked to make it better and work with the volunteer services team as well as the on-site team to try to help our volunteers acclimate a little quicker. What I understand, she also sacrificed quite a bit of vacation time to volunteer with OBR, as a lot of our volunteers do, not only once, but twice. And she makes a difference in everyone's life, and she's very inspiring. We're very grateful for all of her dedication and volunteering for Operation Barbecue Relief.
Yeah, no, congratulations, Anne. And I get to have to say I had that experience working with her on site. Well, not virtually, right? She was on our on site coordinator and had the opportunity to work with her quite a bit as we managed those volunteers both virtually and on site. And so, congratulations, very well deserved there. Moving on. So, our 5th award is our Innovation Award. The Innovation Award is presented to those who make life a little easier by introducing an idea or invention which has been put into service at deployments, events, or behind the scenes. And so our finalists for 2022 were Gene Boldman, another nickname, right? JetBlue, Mike Schwerian. CC's on the list, Kelsey Cross, David Marks, and Donnie Paul.
And as a side note, when it comes to innovation, it's not always equipment. It's not always a major change in workflow or process. It can be something minor that has a large impact. We've seen that each year we've had the Innovation Awards. The 2022 Innovation recipient this year is CC, for calling out can counts and changing the way sides were managed and helping to help a lot with some of our overage or underage and our shortages in our sides process. So congratulations, CC.
Yep, congratulations. And again, it's one of those things you think about, well, duh, why weren't we doing this before? Somebody comes to the table and says, why don't we do this and start doing it? And all of a sudden you realize how great, great that really was. So
Mm-hmm.
congratulations, CC.
Great.
All right, the next one, Behind the Heart Award. So the Behind the Heart Award is presented to an individual who works tirelessly and often unseen, hence Behind the Heart, behind the scenes at Operation Barbecue Relief to make the organization successful. And they really are people who, during deployments, they're the ones you don't see handing out meals. They're the ones calling for porta potties, making sure we get security fencing, finding where the food needs are on the phone, right? And or procurement and all
Just,
those other
just a
things
few,
that
yeah,
make the
just a few
on-site
of the small
licenses.
things.
What's that?
Just a few of the small things that go on during a deployment.
Exactly, right? So anyway, I'm sorry. So the finalists for the 2022 Behind the Heart Award are Cheryl Bailey, Abby James, Alan Jones, Joy Lloyd, and Alan Nichols.
And with that, the 2022 Behind the Heart Award is for Joy Lloyd. Joy's been indispensable behind the scenes. And again, as Brian talked about, there is a lot of activity that our volunteers take on that no one really sees, or they don't realize the time and energy and late night questions and early morning check-ins to make sure that we have porta potties, that we have porta potties that are serviced, that we have trash, that we have grease dumps, all the little things that just automatically show up in the first 72 hours of our chaos. And without people like Joy, it wouldn't happen. So thank you very much, Joy. Congratulations.
Yep. Congratulations, Joy. That is it's very well deserved, and you have a lot of outstanding contribution to the organization. So thank you. All right, grassroots. The grassroots award, a little bit of a different award, right? So I think this one's great because it's not about what did somebody do for Operation Barbecue Relief. This is recognizing what volunteers who are part of Operation Barbecue Relief are doing on their own time to take care of their own communities, put those skills to work, and but they're doing it on their own, right? As they continue on that giving mission. And so out of this the lot of the names we got through for the nominations on this one, we wound up with Smokey Dave Birch, Mike Lip, Alan Nichols, Lewis Pratt, and John David Wheeler.
And the recipient of our 2022 Grassroots Award is John David Wheeler. John was also, I believe, one of our volunteers of the year a little while back. John has been involved with Operation Barbecue Relief nearly since the beginning. Moore, Oklahoma is when I first met him. An amazing man, and not only does he do a lot of amazing things for us in Operation Barbecue Relief, but he does amazing things throughout his community and is the first one to drop everything to help somebody else. So I couldn't think of a better person for this. Congratulations, John.
Yep. No, congratulations, John. That's great. And thank you for carrying the mission forward outside of Operation Barbecue Relief, because that's what we can really hope for, right? Is to just to make that live on. All right, we're getting there. We're almost to the end. The Leadership Award. This is a big one, number 8. This is given to an individual who displays the utmost in leadership characteristics. It's someone others willingly follow, trust. They seek to emulate, and it's just a person who is clearly their leadership. So the finalists for the 2022 Leadership Award: Kelsey Cross, CC. John Imbriolo, Johnny I, another nickname, Lewis Pratt, John David Wheeler, and Nick Woolfolk.
And the recipient of the 2022 Leadership Award is Lewis Pratt. Lewis, since day one, has exemplified leadership at every deployment or event he's been involved with, even outside of deployments and events. He does an incredible job of focusing on the volunteer and the people around him first and himself last. He is one of those people that exemplifies what it means to be a leader, and we are incredibly fortunate to have him as part of our organization. Congratulations, Lewis.
Yep, congratulations. Thank you for all that you do. All right, so before we get to the top award, there's going to take a pause for station identification, as they used to say on television, right? So what I wanted to remind people for before you run off at the end, that's why I'm doing it now. It's like barbecue awards. Make all your announcements before GC.
Oh yeah.
Right? So, 2023 nominations. We're already 4 months into 2023. We have links available to make nominations now. That's going to be available throughout the rest of the year into early January. First couple weeks of January is where it's going to end. So, but the idea is to let's get nominations in now as events happen, as deployments happen, as you recognize people doing things that stand out to you. Click the link, I'll talk about that in a second, but click the link. Go out there, put them in for one of the awards, put in their name and the details while it's fresh in your mind. Our goal, hopefully, is to have so many more nominations that this process actually becomes more difficult for next year, that we have that many more people to have to go through to be able to get to this point. So we're going to have links out there. It'll be in the newsletter, so you can always find it there. We're going to get it put on the website. I've already started talking about that. In the Facebook volunteer group for our registered volunteers, they can find it. It'll be in the volunteer app. So it's going to be all around. You'll get it after every deployment. We'll start sending it out after ASP events. So it'll certainly be available for you to find. If you can't find it, email the team, volunteer@obr.org. We'll get you the link. But any which way that you do, if it'll save you the heartache later trying to remember what was that person's name and what it was that they did at whatever event it was 6 months ago. So the sooner you can do it, the better. All right, I'll leave it at that. So here we go. Everything we've been building up to. And you know what, before we actually get into that, Will, would you kind of take a minute, talk about the award itself, for those who might not know some of the history and Rod Kramer and its kind of namesake award?
Sure. Rod was a personal friend of mine, as well as Stan's and some of the people that were originally around in Joplin. Rod passed away several years back from leukemia. But before then, Rod exemplified to me what it meant to be a volunteer. Everything he did with a smile. No job was too big or too small. He also once was the first person to go back to his own company and get OBR our first grant after we were a 501(c). Again, it's one of those things that he was the embodiment of what that volunteer spirit is about. Not only did he help Operation Barbecue Relief, but he was involved with his church. He was involved in other activities. Always had time for things other than his own priorities, sometimes trying to help people out. So this award was the first award we started with and was created to remember him and to remember that spirit of volunteerism, and what it really means to give back to others without asking anything in return.
Great. Thanks, Will. I appreciate that. So, right. So, our Rod Kramer Volunteer of the Year Award presented to an individual who exemplifies volunteerism and is recognized for their outstanding contributions to Operation Barbecue Relief. And top five for Volunteer of the Year were Don Edwards, Steve Crass, Harry and Sharon Leonard, Mike Moore, and JetBlue Mike Schwerian.
And we're very thrilled to announce that the 2022 Rod Kramer Volunteer of the Year is JetBlue Mike. Congratulations, Mike. Again, you truly do embody that spirit of this award. I don't think I've ever seen you not look up from no matter what you're doing and have a smile on your face. Whether it be adding casters to equipment to doing meals out of the warehouse in Tampa. You're an incredible person, and I feel fortunate to know you, and congratulations on this award.
Yeah, congratulations, Mike. You really are an inspiration to everybody, and I've seen what you do, and it really is amazing. So congratulations. And one final shout out to all of the award nominees, all of the finalists, and especially to the recipients. Congratulations to all of you. It was very well earned by every person on that list. So that's it. That's where we're at. Congratulations.
And I'll reiterate what Brian's saying. It's yes, we do have employees, but we cannot do what we do without our volunteers. I'm always blown away by watching the new connections that happen. I know personally, I would have never thought volunteering 12 years ago would have gotten me to the friendships I have now. seen this organization grow in ways I never could have imagined. And that's all because of the volunteers. And so I can't personally thank you enough for your time, your dedication, your donations, and everything you do. Um, and if there's ideas you have, thoughts you have, don't hold back. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know where you want to see things, because that's where that innovation, that's where that heart comes from, and that's what makes us who we are. So, with that, thank you very much, and don't forget to nominate people. Brian, we do want to touch. I think it wouldn't be bad to. We were trying some different ideas in regards to the nomination process. And more of that will be coming. It'll be noticed in the newsletter, as well as on the volunteer app in the coming months, which will make that volunteer nomination process even easier and more right in front of you in regards to when you leave a deployment. So you're not trying to remember if it was Bob Smith or Bob Sullivan or who Bob was. And if you can't remember, let the volunteer services team know. They're pretty good at tracking down who all is there and who it possibly could be. So don't hesitate to ask them.
That you can't get away from us. Actually, because we probably have people watching the broadcast who may not be volunteers. If you're not a registered volunteer, maybe you're a supporter in some other capacity or a follower of on social media and that sort of thing. Certainly, I would encourage you to get involved and see firsthand what we do. You can register as a volunteer. We have an app. It's OBR Volunteers for both iOS and Android. You can also register through our website at obr.org. Click volunteer. There's no obligation to doing it, but gets you on our list. It gives you the opportunity to get out there, whether it's a deployment or even an event in your area. But it's really an opportunity for you to get involved and see firsthand what it really takes to accomplish the mission and the profound impact you can have on people's lives when you're doing that. So with that, I'll leave it to Will if you have anything else. Otherwise,
The only other thing I want to add is thank you for all the volunteers. Congratulations to all those that were nominated, and congratulations to those that won. So thank you very much, and you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend.
thanks, Will. I appreciate you being here. Everyone have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks, Brian.